Welcome back to the Rundown, everyone. I'm your host, Nick Simonson. Great to be with you and super excited to be here at this point in the season. If you're like me and a lot of folks throughout running's territory, you're getting geared up for the granddaddy of all hunting seasons, and that is firearms deer opener. Now, when you're out there on firearms deer opener, we want you to be safe. We want you to put the tactics in play that you can use to get the biggest buck in your hunting area, and then get the gear that you need from your local runnings and the friendly staff there who can get you set up and pointed in the right direction. Now, the rut is an important phase of the year. This is the time of year where bucks get a little bit more careless. They're out there chasing after those hot does, trying to beget the next generation and establish, their genes as the best genes in the gene pool. So when you're after these love-drunk bucks, so to speak, you need to know the two signs that are going to point you in the right direction, and that is finding the trails that have rubs and scrapes. After that, it's about getting geared up, getting the right mindset and getting ready to go with the calls and scents that'll set you up when the firearm season opens, and then some help from your friends at runnings to get you going in the right direction as well. But when you're looking for those signs, when you're starting your gun season off, it often coincides with the rut. That's when bucks are aggressive, they're chasing does, and they're going to slip up. And if you want to find that big buck, you need to look for those two key signs. And that is first looking for those rubs. Now, a rub is a point where the antlers of a buck have been rubbed continuously on a tree. By doing this, he is taking some scent from glands around his head and his nose and placing it on that tree. He's also making sure that everyone else knows that that's part of his territory. So as he rubs, he removes velvet early in the season, but now he's finishing that off. He's creating a signpost for you as a hunter and for other bucks to let everyone know that he's the dominant guy in that area. So find these rubs, and if you follow a trail, you'll find a rub. You move 50 or 100 yards, you'll find another rub. This will give you the idea as to how these bucks are traveling down that certain corridor. In addition to having those rubs, look for scrapes on the ground. Now, a scrape is a dirt depression that's been cleared away by a buck, pawing at the ground, removing sticks, removing twigs, removing leaves, and clearing that area out where he can urinate, deposit more scent from his urine, also from his leg glands, and establish, again, that territory. If you are keying in on rubs and scrapes, you're going to have a great idea as to where that monster buck is hiding and where you can set up along that trail to ambush him. Now, this time of year, where legal, go ahead and deploy some scents. You can use scents from Tinks or other companies to hang up on a tree or an area that catches the wind and blows that scent around, whether it's actual doe urine or components thereof. You're going to want to have a scent option where available and where able to be used. So invest in a scent. It's a great way to establish kind of that natural odor, that smell that's going to draw those bucks in. And then seal the deal with some calls. As we've talked about on the rundown in the past, using a grunt call, using a doe bleat, and kind of using an interchange where it sounds like a buck is trying to tend to that doe, and that big Otis, he's going to come out of the woods and be like, where is this little buck at? And when it's not there, that's your chance to get him. So gear up, know the signs, have some scents and calls ready, and deploy everything you can to trick those big bucks right now, because now is when they're easiest to fool. Stop in at your local runnings and make sure your firearm is in tip-top condition, and get the blaze orange, the hat, the vest, the gloves, the things you need to be seen and be safe in the field. And remember, if you're hunting out of a ground blind, make sure you get an orange patch or a vest or a flag or something to deploy on that so that people know that blind is occupied. We want you to be safe. Every successful hunt is safe, regardless of whether you bring home a deer that day or not. So make sure you use the required amount of orange in your jurisdiction and let other hunters know where you're at. With the help from your friends at runnings, they will get you geared up, they will make sure you're within the bounds of the law, and they will make sure that you have a very successful deer season. For the Rundown, I'm Nick Simonson. Good hunting to you.